Tragic news coming in. One more army jawan has succumbed to injuries. Indian Army and the Jammu and Kashmir police continue to hunt for the terrorist in Anantnag in South Kashmir. Another jawan has died in the Anantnag encounter. Area has been cordoned off. Search operations are underway. Lashkar chief has been cornered in Anantnag. This, remember, will be the armed forces ensuring that the terrorists do not get away. But it's led to tragic casualties as well on our end. And now, after 3 officers laid down their life, now another soldier has succumbed to injuries. It's because of these soldiers who laid down their life is why we are free and safe sitting where we are in this country. You're looking at the visuals of the mortal remains of Major Ashish Dhonchok. His mortal remains have arrived in Panipat in Haryana. But you can see that the whole area around have come to ensure they have their support, and the family must know that the whole country stands by them. Kamaljeet Sandhu yesterday was at the residence of Colonel Manpreet Singh. Today, she's at the residence of Major Ashish. Remember, it's not an easy job even for a reporter at this time to be able to, but this is where we say and ensure that we stand by the family in this hour of grief. Kamaljeet, over to you. We can see the mortal remains have arrived in full protocol, as is by the Indian Army. The procedure will be laid down, and one can only imagine what the family is going through. Can you tell us, Kamaljeet, who all are in the family of Major Ashish?
Pooja, the mortal remains of Major Ashish have come in. Let me tell you, in Panipat as well as in Chandigarh, the entire family has been engulfed in grief. And we are at the spot here in Kokarnag. This is where it's day 3 of the encounter. But as far as the family is concerned, the emotions are running high. There have been a lot of fervor and chants against Pakistan. But yes, it's been a difficult task. We know that our brave Jawans, brave army officers, and remember, today itself, there has been a Jawan who has succumbed to his injuries. But as far as Colonel Manpreet, Major Ashish are concerned, they were on the spot. They were leading from the front. Rahees Muzammil Bhatt, one of the DSPs who had died. All these officers have very young families. They have obviously been on the ground. And remember, as far as this entire area is concerned, let me tell you, they were on a hillock, and obviously they were going straight up for 8 hours continuously. And after which, when they were having a discussion as to what the next course of action would be, that is when the firing came in. And we've been told at least there was information regarding 2 to 3 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists being trapped. And that is when, from a vantage point, the terrorists fired upon them. But these are officers who have led from the front. They've taken the bullets on the chest. And this is how things really stand as of now. These families are distraught. They are heartbroken. We all know that there is this every possibility when a person is posted, especially in parts of South Kashmir. That is when there is obviously every bit where there is possibility of peril and danger. But when it comes to the families, remember, they've been far away, many of them just waiting for that one particular vacation where the officer can go back, they can meet their families. The last thing that they can really try and imagine is that the officer is coming back. Obviously, this is where the security has some sort of an apprehension. There is obviously, this is where we're trying to tell you about the possibility of the dangers, especially when there are men in uniform. There is obviously every sense of concern, and we've been told by senior officers that the search operation has begun again. But with the families, with the mortal remains now reaching the residence.
Kamaljeet, you're also in, as we, the fact is, that while the sacrifices have taken place, as Kamaljeet is in Anantnag, and she's ensuring that only information that will not hamper the operation, of course. She's an experienced reporter. She's telling us about the situation there. I want you to understand as a viewer, on one side, the mortal remains are reaching the families. On another, encounter is still on. There are still armed forces on the job right now. I want to come back to you, Kamaljeet, because just tell us briefly again about the situation on the ground. And I see around you, because we know in South Kashmir, there are cliffs, there are forest areas. It's a very treacherous terrain. It's not an easy terrain to even operate in. So go ahead, Kamaljeet. Tell us about the sort of area that you're in right now.
We are in the Kokonach area. There you see, this is where the security personnel, this is where the cordon has begun. And obviously, this is where we've been at the spot since morning. Clearly, the tempers are running high. There have been losses. There's been a fresh loss of a Jawan. But as I was telling you, the deal is that in these kind of counter-terror operations, there was a specific human int which came in with Jammu Kashmir police, and this is when the officers launched an operation. They were leading from the front, at least 3 officers, including DSP Humayu Muzamil Bhatt, a young officer, along with Colonel Manpreet. Now, these were officers who also had experience. Major Ashish was accompanying, and that is when for 8 hours straight on, they climbed the hills just to reach the encounter spot, and that is when there was an exchange of fire. What we already know is that when they were deciding the next course of action, that is when there was a fresh burst of fire, and the first person to die on spot was Colonel Manpreet, killed in action. The bravery of these officers is obviously something there would be not just their own states, but India will read on and will speak of. But this is obviously a professional hazard itself as far as the police is concerned, army is concerned, paramilitary is concerned. This is where the bravery of these officers leading from the front. We were speaking to DG Dilbag Singh, we were speaking to the ADGP Vijay Kumar, and they were saying they're very proud that the fact that they knew about the sort of risk which were involved. They ventured in, they took the bullets, they were leading their own men of their team. So all this has very much been the part of security deployment. They're saying that, at a point of time where militancy is waning, Pakistan-sponsored terror, that is where there is every bit concerned that there is infiltration. And we've been told there have been 48 kills as far as security personnel killing terrorists are concerned. Most of these are now Pakistanis. But as far as this particular operation is concerned, the 19RR CO, Colonel Manpreet leading, Major Ashish, he was also with him. And these are officers who have led from the front. And obviously for families who are distraught. And Pooja, I was there at Colonel Manpreet's residence. Heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. All these families with very small, young kids. So they have made the supreme sacrifice.